All right, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Veil. My name is Alan. I'm joined
Now
here
he's
with
recording.
Bonesy. How you doing, man?
I'm here, man. I'm here in the flesh.
All right. So we just did a whole introduction. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So we're gonna do this again. Uh, it's
There we go.
been a year and a half since we created this show. This is our 28th episode. I'm very excited about it. My original plan was to talk about manifesting abundance and flow, and we are going to talk about that. It definitely correlates with some things that have been going on with our lives. But I just kind of realized that it's been exactly a year since we did the last Lionsgate portal, and here we are again with the Lionsgate portal. It's kind of more of coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence. It just kind of happened to be today that we had the time
Right.
to link up and do this show. So that's crazy.
So, so today is the Lionsgate portal.
Well, the portal's basically from the 3rd to the 13th, but 8/8 this Saturday is the actual Lionsgate portal.
Dig it.
The
Right on.
energies are here now, and I think they're the most intense through the 8th through the 10th. So this weekend is going to be the most intense part of it. But from a lot of people I've talked to just over the last day or two, when it started on the 3rd, I have a friend that works at a daycare center, and all the kids there have been just kind of going crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
strangling each other and whatnot. Uh, just
Yeah.
being much wilder and crazier than normal. So it's like, yeah, on the 3rd too. So like when that energy started spiking, I haven't checked the Schumann resonance to see, but I'm sure it does correlate. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Um, just looking a little bit at the show we did last year, we were talking about how we were purging individually a lot of these things that were no longer serving us, and doing that and getting up through that portal was kind of like the build up until the portal, where we were purging
Right.
all these energies and letting go and releasing the things that just weren't serving us anymore. But what I immediately thought of when I was listening to that was, now a year later, in this year 2020, in this portal, that we're doing the same thing, but on a massive collective scale. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's really intensified.
Yes. And the bad thing is that there's so much negative that is so easy for you to. I mean, this thing can work positive for you. It can work negative for you. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I see a lot of people that are just the fear is just it's controlling everything that they do, and it's really sad. It's really sad to watch what's going on with a lot of people. But
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I have.
Purging. I mean, I think. Let me just say one thing. I think if people are anybody watching this that is caught up in that fear thing, now is the time to you can purge that. It's actually transmuting. You take something from negative and turn it into a positive. You have to figure out what is your positive from that negative. You have to start to build on something, because a lot of people are really a lot of people right now feel like they're starting from scratch, or they feel like they're rebuilding, or they feel like they're starting over or resetting. And what perfect time, you know what I mean? What perfect time right now during this portal. So go on with that thought. I was just wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
interject.
I couldn't agree more. That is, it is the perfect time. And matter of fact, I told somebody this morning. I've been talking to a couple different people that are really struggling with, a lot of people blame things on other people, or really it's all internal. All your battles are internal. What you're battling inside, you're manifesting in your outer reality.
Right.
So really everything is comes down to self-healing. I, like, I work with a guy that just fucking hates the world. He hates people. He hates everything. He is very much in that fear consciousness, that doom and gloom, and you can't say anything to him. And he tries to bring other people into it. He's very outspoken about it, which I understand, because that's where I started this journey. I was on that exact same path. And
Right.
I was in there for many months, and I don't know how long he's been on that particular part of his journey, but I just see it as a catalyst to his awakening. Like, yeah, a person can only take so much of that, so much of that
Right.
stress and anxiety and hatred before just something has to give. You can't live
It's a
life in that
shift.
battle zone.
It's a shift.
Hmm.
It's a shift inside of you.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's where I was going with this. That you control your state of mind at any given moment of the day, at every moment of the day. So
Right.
everything from your happiness to your misery is based on how you're viewing the situation, the world, your friends, your relationships, everything.
And not
So
only that, not only that, what you put your focus and energy on. Like uh, go ahead, and then I'm going to tell this little story. Go ahead.
no, you're good. Go
Okay.
ahead, tell the story.
I just want to tell this story. This happened just a few weeks back, and we was in Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if I told this story before, but I may have done it on the other show. But this few weeks back, and some lady, we was all wearing a mask like you're supposed to. They finally opened up, and lady was telling us, "Don't go downtown. Don't go downtown. They're having protests down there, and they're doing this and they're doing that." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, there's wars going on, civil war. There's riots everywhere." Was like, "Do what? Really?" She said, "Yeah, it's dangerous out there. It's dangerous out there. There's 5 or 6 cashiers going and people." But you could tell people are starting to tune into me and this lady's our conversation. We're 6 feet apart, so we're literally talking loud, right? So, and she goes, "You don't even know? You didn't know?" And we said we don't watch the news. We both together, so we don't even watch the news. And the whole place went silent. Cashiers stopped. Everything stopped. And the lady says, "Well, how do you guys know what's going on?" And we said, "Well, we walk outside and we look around, and that's what we go by. You know what I mean? It looks like to us the sun is shining, and it's a nice day, and there's nobody after us, and there's no riots, and I don't, nobody dying around. I'm going by what I'm seeing, and I'm not going on, because I can find Bigfoot on this thing if you want me to. I
Oh
can
yeah.
find all kinds of shit. What they say, unicorn parts, all that. There's anything you want is on this. But what I'm living in is a whole other world, and it's called reality. I'm out here
Yeah.
in the sun, walking
Yeah.
barefooted. So
Your
go ahead.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
what I chose. It's the one I chose. I could have turned on TV and lived in that reality. I got friends right now, man. They're like ready to strap it up and go. I'm like, what are you talking? What war are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
mhm.
It's a war going on. Wait, Fox News, is that where you're at? Where are you at? Who's got you thinking and tweaking like a crackhead when you're out here fucking bouncing around, fucking loading up guns and thinking there's a civil war?
Yeah.
I'm going to the beach, bro.
Yeah.
That's where I've been. That's where I'm going next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had the same thing. People at work are like, "Man, they're rioting downtown. It's so dangerous. You can't go anywhere out there. You might get hurt or jumped or robbed. They may steal your car or beat you up or something." Like, what are you talking about? I was just downtown 2 days ago, and none of that shit was going on. And they were
Yeah,
like, "What? Really? Where? What do you mean?" I was like, I was there. There was nobody outside. It was calm as could be. I had a great experience. I don't know what you're talking about. Like this,
yeah,
you need to stop watching the news. And it still didn't click to them because I still see them going through and they're like all in this fear consciousness. Like, oh man, I don't want to go to the beach because there's riots in Ocean City now. There's people in this and that. And
yeah.
then like I had someone call me this morning and tell me that they went down the boardwalk the other day, like over this past couple of days, and they just saw like fights break out, like individual isolated incidents, no rioting, no crazy shit, just drunk people fighting or whatever.
Yeah, shit that
But
probably normally happens anyway.
right, yeah, but I've never had that experience walking down the boardwalk because I don't choose that. You know what I
You
mean?
don't draw
He
that
chooses
experience.
that reality. He wants to see craziness. They're wanting to experience shit jumping off. You know what I mean? Because
It's
that's
actually what you think actually crystallizes. Once your thoughts go out, they crystallize into and manifest into reality. You literally are going to see what you're looking for.
yep.
If you're looking for paradise, man, you can see it. You'll walk to it. God will guide you straight to that. If you want to see hell, you'll go see that. It's your choice. you're going to go see what you're choosing to see. Now, that doesn't mean things are going to happen. Life isn't going to do this, and things aren't going to. But I'm just saying, for the most part, 90% of the time, you have a choice in the position that you put yourself to either feel or see, or you can turn the other way. Like, I always ask people when they talk about the riots, I'm like, does the camera ever pan to the left and the right? I mean, it shows these people standing on a car beating, but there could be like all the way around you, 360. That's like a little degree, like 20 degrees of view here. And here, the other 340 degrees, there's probably peaceful people, loving, who
Yeah.
knows what's going on, but they're
Nothing
not
going
going to
on.
show
There's
you
a
that.
film
They're
crew.
going to stick with this
It's
because
like a
it
movie.
sells.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, look
And
at the
that's what they
people.
have.
Look how
They're
easily
called,
they're manipulated.
yeah, it's called crisis actors. So they go create a scene,
Right.
create that drama because they know, especially now, nobody's going outside. Everyone's scared. It's
Yeah.
lessening. With the fear of the pandemic and everything, but believe that it's going to happen again. I believe there will be another shutdown. And mainly the
Yeah.
reason for that is what Cryon said recently in one of his most recent channels was that we needed a year to just slow down. So I have a feeling
Right.
this is going to last a little while longer. But that's not a bad thing. It depends how you see it. If you see through the fear, manipulation, and control, and you can kind of transcend that part of it individually, and you can hold that narrative in your mind of where this is your reality. You're creating your reality. My reality is still full
Right.
of peace and joy and love. And that is reflected
Right.
all around me. And the people that are not in that same reality have seemed to slowly shifted more towards at least the calmness that I carry with me, because it's just the energy that I
Right.
have. I'm a very calm person. I'm reserved. I'm not
And
loud.
that's all really to do.
Yeah.
Right. You have to lead by example, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
These people aren't going to listen to talk.
no, no, and that's the thing. This guy I work with that's in the fear. I've talked to him a few times just to kind of see where he was at, and I was trying to think of like the one thing that would make him think about something else. But I mean, he's so far deep rooted in that hatred that I can just be peaceful. He's like, I fucking hate people. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I fucking love people. Like, everything's
Yeah.
going great for me, man. I don't know what's going on with you. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's about the best I can do. But now you said something when you were just talking that made me think of Case's first video, which was also about Bashar's channeling, which is the first channel that I saw of them, where they were talking about the fear and the hate train. Um, and now, like, since, shit, it's been like 8 years now, since 2012, we've been in this new energy where things have really been changing rapidly.
Yes.
And we are choosing our own reality. So you can choose to be in your peaceful, blissful love and joy, and do a lot of that inner work, and it'll reflect in your outer reality. But we are also living with the people on that fear train. So we got
Right.
the fear and the love, which is funny actually because I have fear and love tattooed on my shoulders, which is something I had on this shoulder is fear, this is love.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
When I was 18, yeah, it's I don't know, I just went in and picked it, but we're coexisting with these people, but we don't share the same reality, not even close. Not even close. So that shows you, that's to me direct evidence of how you're creating your own reality. Because
Right.
he sees it as fear, doom, and gloom, and everything is shit. Everything's falling apart. The world's going to hell. We're all going to die soon. Something's jumping off at any given moment. He's buying guns and ammo and everything.
Yeah. Well,
Where
here's what's
I'm
sad
here.
is they're not creating their own reality. The people that are controlling the TV, the producers, those people are the ones that are creating their reality. That's the whole fucked up deal about it. It's like they're not even choosing. They're not even making the choice. They just turn it on, and then there you go. There's your thoughts.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
And I think it makes sense because think about it. Our original plan. So, a conscious society cannot sustain for over 5,125 years without deciding to raise their level of consciousness. That goes down to like the wobble of the earth, to the Mayan calendar, which is all those, like that Mayan calendar was a countdown to 2012, where we either destroyed ourselves or we decided collectively to raise our level of consciousness and to
Right.
proceed into creating a new world. So we have passed the marker. We are no longer in that um,
And then,
apocalyptic, what's the word? The prophecy. So we are now in uncharted territory, right? So
right.
everything now going forward, there's nothing written about it. I mean, there are things about getting into peace, but there's nothing. Like everything that was prophesied to be fear, doom, gloom, and we all kill each other, everyone dies, basically. The earth
Yeah.
ends, reset, start over. But that didn't happen. Now we are in a new paradigm, but it feels so right when you first start hearing about that, when you first start getting into that, because that's what's been experienced before in this experience of
Truth has a feeling.
yeah,
You can feel it.
yeah,
It's
and it's
tangible.
true because it's happened. It was supposed to happen. If we didn't
Right.
make that decision, on a higher plane to continue going on in this changing the world, basically.
Right.
And now that we are changing the world, so when you first start hearing about that fear, it feels right because that's what was supposed to happen. That's what has happened before. This is the fifth civilization.
It's a catalyst. It's a
Yeah.
catalyst
Yes.
for
So
transmutation.
that's kind of like the way you go. You go down to fear, and then you go too much fear. You can't take the fear. You ask for help, or whatever happens, whatever experience is set up for you, you hopefully will get it and move past that fear. Um,
Right.
but I don't think everybody's going to. You know what I mean? Not in this lifetime. But the good news is we're not destroying ourselves. You know what I mean? This is gonna keep going, and everything is breaking down right now, and will be restructured. So that's kind of what I want to say about that.
Those that keep their wits, those that keep their heads, and those that stay in the flow state. I really believe that flow is everything. I think that, and we talk about flow, and people are like flow, 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 flow. But really, all that really is, and I can't remember he did a video about somebody else's little story where these little things were hanging on. They was in a stream or whatever. These little dude, this one dude, he was just going to let go and see where he ended up, and everybody's like, no, no, Well, he did go downstream and crash on a rock, I think, or some kind of shit was the end of the story. But at least he went into the flow of things and seen that how groovy life can be and where it's going to take you, and how, instead of hanging on to this, trying to be safe, you're literally destroying and suffocating and killing yourself uh, by not just letting go of everything and just let it go. Just let it go. That's what abundance is. That's what is, you know, the reason humans suffer is due to desire. And because you want something that you can't have. There's some people, they want a partner. And the more they think about, I got to have a partner, that's the only thing that's going to complete me, the more they're pushing that away because they got to have it. The desire itself is creating this wall of where you cannot, abundance is, when you go to study Latsao and Buddha and in the Tao Te Ching and any kind of Eastern philosophy, any philosophy, it's all about not having desire and not wanting what you don't need, but exactly loving and being peaceful with exactly what you have, where you're at right now. If you can do that in the midst of all this shit that's going on, and realize that you've been fed today, you have air to breathe, there is an actual sun still shining, everything that God gave you is still right here. It's all the things that you thought you needed. It's all the things that this future that you had planned, and these ideas you thought of who you were going to become, and this car that you're going to own, and this neighborhood you're going to live in, and all these things that you have to build and build and build to fit into this idea of what, so you can be accepted and get likes on Facebook or whatever the fuck you're trying to do. instead of just being like, dude, I'm fed today. I got air and there's the sun and I got love. I got my family and they're all healthy and that's it. That's where I'm at. As long as every day I get up, my family's healthy and everything's good like that and everybody's eating and we just are healthy and I'm not asking for a whole lot more. I just, just give me that day. Give me the day.
So let's shift gears a second. Let's go back because I want to cover manifesting abundance and flow. That also depends on what your definition of abundance is. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people think of it as an abundance of cash, which I don't think of it as. But what is your definition of abundance to you?
Right. Those things will come. Those things will come once you release that desire. I mean, there's some people who desire so much that they'll do anything and they'll step on anybody and they will get that money.
Oh
They're
yeah,
gonna that desire is
absolutely.
gonna get them.
That's
But
still the
it'll come to
consciousness of
you.
the business world in this place.
And what you need will come to you if you just let go. And what you need will come to you.
Yeah.
You don't need a bunch more like say Bill Gates or whatever, any of these guys who's got all that money, they're going to shit in one toilet. They're going to sleep in one bed. They're going to take a shower in one shower. You could have 15 toilets and 15 showers and 40 bedrooms, but you're going to use one bedroom. You're going to use one bathroom. You're going to use one kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
do.
anyway,
And um, something pulled me to one of Case's earlier videos where he was talking about the divine matrix to Gregg Braden, and just kind of how real this energy field is that we live in. So I think I had watched the Divine Matrix before, but I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to, or it was like in the beginning of my journey, so it didn't mean to me then what it meant to me now.
right.
I watched that last night, and
It's the shit, ain't it?
it's really powerful. It is.
Yeah.
It's really powerful, and it's.
And the God code. Watch the one that he does on the God code. It's freaking fascinating.
I think I've seen a little bit of that one.
Uh,
But yeah, they just the energy field that is proven by science that our heart emits is 2 meters out from us. 2 meters,
al-
just our
almost
heart.
almost the distance they're trying to keep us apart, isn't it?
It's funny how it works, isn't it?
Uh,
Well, Zion says that we have an energy field of 24 feet. So that's basically 12 feet around you in every direction. So you're the center, and 12 feet out, all the way around in a circle, is your energy. So anyone
dig
within
it,
that 12 feet is within your energy. But
dig
the
it.
Heart Math Institute, at that time, at that making of that video, which was a little while ago now, they said it was 2 meters. Just your heart. Your heart has everything. Your heart has brain cells in it, and your
Yeah,
heart is telling your brain what to tell the rest of your body. So everything is based on that heart, which is based on a feeling, an emotion. Um, so in the Bible it says, "Ask and you shall receive," but the things they left out were you can't just ask. When you ask, and you have a desire, when you're asking or you want that car or that house, it's you're telling the universe you don't have it.
right.
So you can't, that's not the language of the universe. You have to speak the language of the universe, which is energy. Energy. Emotions is energy. Energy and motion is motions, or emotions is energy and motion. But when you can align that feeling of having it, if you can imagine whatever you want, imagine having it. You already have it. It's already done. That's how you ask the universe for something. If
Yeah,
you
that's
want,
releasing. That's how you create the flow because you've released that desire because you no longer have the desire because you feel as if you own it. So it's actually you just opened all these channels free flowing towards you now instead of blocking them off with all this like you said, this negative energy. I don't have it. I don't have it. I wish I had it. I need that. I gotta have that, or whatever. That just shuts a door, shuts a door, shuts a door. If you feel like you already have it, there's no resistance. There's nothing to there's You know,
Yeah.
it's just like people who are married and fully in love. They're not sitting there thinking, God, I wish I had a partner. You know, I wish I had a partner. It's already there, so they're already opened up to it. I know that sounds kind of kooky because it's like the cart before the horse thing, but um, I don't even know what I was thinking. But I think I had a good thought there for a second. But go ahead, brother.
So, in your definition, to you, what does abundance mean to you?
In my definition,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good question because since all this started with me, you know, obviously everybody goes down the same path, and you start following, going to these certain channels, and you learn about the law of attraction and how you bring things. And I would always sit there, and I was always thinking that what I wanted was to be rich. You know, that's what I always thought I wanted my whole life, because I think I was programmed to think that I just want to be rich or whatever. But every time I prayed, and every time I pray to this day, and every time I've ever prayed, the only thing I ever prayed for was that my family would be healthy and happy. And it's like when it came time for me to realize that I literally had the whole world in a platter and I could manifest anything I wanted, when it came down to it, that's really all I ever asked for every time. So I haven't really, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Money's been coming, and it's been, and we haven't. I let that thought go, so we're very comfortable now, even though we're not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a strange situation. We just don't have a lot of overhead. We haven't spent money in the future that's not there. So our abundance, we really are, because we haven't spent money that's not there. So the money we have is our money for here right now, and we're not paying for futuristic shit. We're not paying, you know, for something that we bought 2 years ago, that when we, you know, our eyes were bigger than our stomach type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been very lucky with that. Um, Now there's things that we want, like travel and things that we want. And I have found that, like this Florida trip that I was telling you about, what's funny is I've sort of had this, I don't know, there's me and my brother haven't talked that much in the last couple of years. I went and worked for him, and some things happened and kind of pissed me off. So we used to hang out and play music a little bit here and there, not a lot, but anyway, that kind of ceased a little bit. And talked to each other a few times over the last couple of years, but and haven't been into it or anything. But just haven't. He hasn't been my cup of tea, and I just, like, you know, haven't, whatever. But my daughter's graduation was coming up, and his son and her went to school together, and he plays music too, and she wanted him to come and play, and so we was all going to play some music. So I called, figured I'd extend a hand out. We had done sort of gave it up on our Florida trip. I told you about the van. I changed the fuel pump in that thing, fuel filter, fuel pump, uh, ignition module, ignition coil, everything, plugs, wires, cap, rotor, you name it, dude. I've changed everything. Now it's down to the spider injectors. And I told her, I was like, man, even if I take these out, because I'm not a mechanic, I'm actually a carpenter, but I do shit. I'm not scared to take wrenches and go and attack shit, you know. So I said, even if I do take the spider injectors out and change this fuel pressure regulator, it's inside this thing, or even clean all the injectors, or even change the whole spider injector system out and put a new one in, I don't trust all my mechanics that I've done. I went through this whole van. I don't know if we're gonna break down. If we do, I've replaced it. I will not know what to do next. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't comfortable. So she went ahead and got put back on the schedule. He's just like, well, we'll just wait and see what happens. So my point is, I call him, and he says something about, well, I can't come. I'm going to Florida. I was like, Florida? They're closed down, or that, like, I heard it's fuck chaos, crazy like California, and you know, it's blowed up, and they're not letting people on the beaches, or if they do, you got to wear a mask. I've been hearing all kinds of crazy. He's like, hell no. I've been talking to them every couple of days, and down in Panama City, shit's popping off. I mean, they're just, the bars aren't open, but the restaurants that serve alcohol are, and beaches are full, and people are just going ape shit, just like, you know, because a lot of the other beaches are closed, so people are coming there. And she's telling him it's just like, it's even more crowded than normal. You know, nobody's really paying attention to what they're saying. I mean, you do have to wear a mask when you go in. I'm like, no shit. So my wheels are spinning now. And he's like, dude, if you can get down here, and he says, because I think he's kind of feeling like the release of, like, now we're talking and it's all good. If you get down here, man, you can crash on my floor. I got a condo for a week. Wyndham, it's called Wyndham Resort, real badass place. And it's got 3 pools. I mean, it's a freaking badass place right on the beach. I mean, it's right on the beach. You can crash on my floor. I'll feed you this and that. Well, he don't need to do all that shit, but might want to crash on your floor a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I'm telling her, and then I'm like, how in the hell are we going to get there, though? Are we going to really drive this old truck again? Because we've done taking this. You've seen my truck. We've done taking it to Tennessee a few times, took it to the Carolinas. This poor thing's got 300,000. It's just not going to make it. Plus all of our shit in the back and trash bag. I mean, just like, are we really going to do this? So I go to bed and I'm meditating, before I go. And I wake up next morning with this idea. My cousin Randy, he can get us a rental car. I'll just pay. I got cash. I'll just pay him there because we don't have credit cards and all that shit. We don't fuck around like that. So I come up with this idea. So I sent him a Marco Polo, right? No response. So I talked to my brother later on. He's like, dude, all you need, he said, you can get a rental car. He said, all you need is an ID and a stinking bank card. You don't have to have credit. You don't have to have. I'm like, dude, because I had this long time ago, I fucked up a checking account like 20 years ago, and they got this little red flag thing they put on you or something. So every time you go to a bank, they won't take you or something. So I don't mess with that. I was like, dude, I can't get it. I don't think I can get a bank account. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, go to mine. I had 2 of them red flags. He tells me about this place in Muncie. So now my wheels are spinning. I'm like, are you serious, dude? So I go check it out. Next thing you know, this bank, they're like, yeah, here we go. So they give it. Now, next thing you know, we even got credit. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I go to hotwire.com. I book this fucking car, dude. We go down here and get this car in Avis. What I booked was the cheapest one for like $250 a week. It was like a small SUV. So I got there and I'm talking shit to her, and I'm like, well, they told me if I talked real sweet to you, gave you a little massage, you might upgrade me for the same price because what you got. She did, dude. We ended up with a 2020 Toyota Highlander. This badass, big black badass dude, man, sweet as fuck.
They are.
And dude, they didn't even charge me for it. It was on my account that it said they got a pending or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They took the pending thing off. It's been 3 or 4 days. And they gave me the receipt. Here's your receipt, paid in full or whatever. So I don't know if that chick, what she did, she liked the way I talked to her, and she'd done a little something. I don't know what. I don't know if I owe her a massage. I don't know what's up. Like, woo! So we rolled in style all the way down there, sticking on the beach all week. It was perfect. The whole thing was perfect. My brother Welch, like normal, we couldn't sleep on the floor. But that was cool. We went got a campground shit. We didn't care. But,
yeah.
It was all good, man. It was just the way it all went. Just by releasing that little bit of something created a whole other something for me. Or at least that's what I call transmuting. I kind of released that, went with the flow of it, just let go of that, whatever it was. It was almost a resentment thing. It was more, I think that bothered me more. It didn't have anything to do with anything more than it was 2 days before Christmas when we had a little scuffle, and I ended up just walking away from it. But me and my dad have always done construction, and Christmas time was always, it was a good time. And my brother sort of turned it into a negative type thing. And I don't know, I think I was holding a grudge or something, which I wasn't mad. I just didn't want to fucking talk to him. I was just like, I'm cool on you for a minute, because I get like that nowadays, especially if I feel like you're negative, if I feel like it's an energy that's drawing me down, or if I feel like it's something that just takes me back a little bit, like I can't move forward, or I'll just get away from that person and but that's really not solving your shit. Getting away from that person, you got to deal with it. And you got to let it go.
Yeah, you do have to deal with it. But I mean, as far as not talking to that person, I don't see anything wrong with that. They're not healthy for you. You know what I mean? As long as you've dealt with it internally and let that shit go. Some people you just need to love from a distance.
Distance.
Yeah. But that's interesting because it was like you were putting so much effort into this vehicle and just going, trying to force it. And then finally when you let it go, everything just kind of fell into place.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Go ahead.
You were cutting out for a second. It was interesting. I don't know how long ago, maybe a month or two ago. I had made a decision that I wanted to buy a real bed. I got this apartment. I had a mattress on the floor, um, a little 8-inch mattress, and then I felt like someone else's like new, like real, like memory foam bed. It was really nice and super comfortable. And then I
Right.
I had that feeling like, wow, I really want this, and I made that decision in my mind, like I am going to get this. Like I didn't say I'm gonna go out and buy it. I said I will get this bed. I'm gonna have this bed. I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, someone that I worked with said, "Hey, do you need a queen size bed? It's the full box spring mattress, the whole frame, everything. I got it all. It's brand new." I was like, well, fuck yeah. And it was the exact kind of
Yeah.
mattress that I wanted. It was the same exact bed that I was gonna buy. And
Dig it.
yeah, for free. All I had to do was go pick it up. I mean,
Yeah.
within a week
That's
of
not crazy.
having that,
Dude,
and
it's
that
just
made
been
me
like,
think. That's what I thought of when I was watching the Divine Matrix last night. Was how that, because I thought that was interesting how that manifested in my life when I wasn't trying to manifest anything consciously, but I had that feeling, that emotion that I already had the bed. You know what I mean? In my mind, I
yeah.
already had it. I was dedicated, decided that this was going to be something I was going to own. And I guess that was the energy to the universe that said, all right, well, let's give them a bed. And
Yeah.
boom, there it was. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's interesting. And the more I'm learning and being consciously aware of this fact and the energy field that we're all in and the energy work that I do, I'm gonna start playing with that a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's the trick to everything. If you
It is. And
feel
what's
like you
funny
don't
is,
have it, you always have everything that you need. And my definition of abundance is to have everything I need and to have the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it. You know what I mean? If I
yeah.
want to take a trip to the beach, I either have the ability to, or something is going to align that's going to allow that, like your trip to Florida, or like most of my trip across the country last year. Shit
Right.
aligns.
Right.
I just waited and trusted and followed my guidance, and everything just flowed perfectly. You know what I mean?
That's funny that you, that's funny because I did not put two and two together on the van and how much pressure I was putting on myself and how much I was like, that van had to be there. That's what was going to get us. And then I just like, this van, I just forget it because we can't. And then, like you said, once I just gave up, then all of a sudden here, other opportunities. But I had myself so clung to that idea that that was
Mm-hmm.
that's what's going to get us there. And,
Yeah.
there's no
You
other
were the
way.
one holding on and not letting
Yeah,
go in that river.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then once I let go, other ideas come, other things start to happen. I'm like,
Yes.
things that I just didn't, because you shut yourself off a lot of times you from ideas. You're like, nah, that'll never work. You
Well,
can
once
never
you
do
get
it.
an idea, you kind of fixate on it because that's the
Yeah,
one thing that makes sense, and then you go on that path. And
right.
then most times we have to go down that path to realize the resistance. And the key to that is to recognize when you get the resistance, when the things aren't working out. I just let it go, because if I have to
Right.
fight that hard for something, it's not meant to be. I just
Well,
trust
see,
that fully.
what screws you up is that human beings, we have been the kind of people that push the envelope and force things and make things happen by just mere force, by
Mhm.
just I'm going to make and not a letting go.
Oh yeah,
So,
sheer
you think
relentlessness.
that's the only way. You start to think that's really the only way to do it, but it's the most energy, the least energy efficient, and the least. It's not. There's no efficiency to it, and it really you miss a whole lot of what you're trying to get by going after whatever it is. Like you may end up with that one thing, but you may have lost out on five other things on the way by just
Mhm.
allowing it to come to you. And
Not to
just
mention the
because if it's
stress
really
that you
meant
cause
for you,
yourself when you're fighting an uphill battle. Most of us are taught in life to get in the canoe or kayak, or get in the boat, get in the stream and start paddling upstream.
yeah,
We just have to attack it with brute force, and the more energy we put into it, the further we'll get. instead of just dropping that paddle and letting the river take you.
Right.
Once I did that, and you know, there's still things that I work hard for and I go to and I take massive action towards, but the massive action I take is also in a flow state. So I'm balanced and I just allow things to come. But when I get worked up, I see immediately in my reality that I get a lot of resistance from the people that I talk to, from the people around me. Like when I get to a point where I get stressed out, like, oh, I'm not going to hit my numbers. I'm not going to make my quota. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. If I get in that mindset, everything stops. Everything is resistance. Everybody gives me a problem. When I let go of all that, which is 90% of my state of mind, I've always let go and I just stay in that flow and I just trust the universe that are going to bring the right people to me at the right time and everything's going to work out perfectly. And it does.
Yes.
And I don't work
and then
hard. Like I work hard, but I don't work hard, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? I go in, I trust my intuition, I do, and engage with the people that I feel are interested in what I'm selling. And that's what I focus my energy on. And, you know, I'll pay somebody else to call all the other people. I don't care. Like,
Right. And it's like, you know, like you said, people paddle upstream and you turn around and go with the flow. But what you're talking about doing is you're going with the flow and then you're sticking yours in and you're giving a little bit of more momentum with the flow.
yeah,
You're moving with the flow
like
and working with the flow instead of against it. You know what I mean?
I like
But
that.
I was going to say, what was I going to say? Because you just said something. I thought of something. Damn it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What was you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, that's just how everything's worked out for me. And the more like, you know, the more like I have affirmations that I do every morning. You know, I talk to my cellular structure. I have different things that I do. Like I have a whiteboard that I just changed everything that I use. Like all my affirmations are now questions that are affirmations. Because like affirmations, it's interesting. So with an affirmation, you can say it and not believe it. But if you keep saying it, eventually you're gonna wire that into your mind and start believing it if you are dedicated enough to that. So like the things that I say every day, I believe and I fully trust in that. But there's other things. So like, you know, if for instance you wanted to be rich and you say I will be rich, if you don't truly believe that you're valuable enough or that whatever it is that you are enough that you will be rich, you know, or achieve whatever goal of success you have, you're not going to get there just by saying I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. I am rich. You know, that's how you do it. I am rich. I am, you know, 100% whole and complete. I have everything I need, you know, and I have an amount of money that I want to make every month. So I say that, but I don't believe that I can make that amount. So what I get is like where I feel I that is possible to make with what I do.
Right.
Time I have to do it. Which is, it's very close, but I always want to push for the limits. But it's interesting how it works out. So what I'm getting at is if you phrase it in a question, like, why does the universe want me to make this amount of money every month? Why does the universe support me? Why does the universe always have my back? If you say things like that every morning, you're not saying something that you don't believe. You're asking a question. And that starts rewiring your brain and you don't get the resistance. Because if you're saying an affirmation that you don't believe, you're immediately hitting resistance. You're hitting a wall because you don't believe what you're saying. So you're just just saying words. You're not communicating with the universe, with your energy. So if you phrase it in a question, it's funny how it starts.
Freedom. It leaves it open and freer. It's a freer. I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's a freer thought. The thought's free, more free instead of an enclosed, focused to a certain point thought.
Yeah, and it's worked so far. I just started that a couple weeks ago with the things that I don't want to say struggle with, but the things like I want, but I don't feel that I believe it when I have it as an affirmation. So I switched it up and changed it, and yeah, I'm starting to see how that goes. And I do it with everything. Like I have it as far as like productivity for your day, the amount of energy, always having energy. Um, I've been telling myself for over a year that I have the fit body of an athlete. And a year ago, I was 220 pounds. I didn't have the fit body. Well, actually, no. It was a year ago. I was like 180 pounds. But I had already lost the weight. But last January 2019, I was 220 pounds. And now I have the fit body of an athlete, and I have more energy than I've ever had in my life. I'm probably in the best shape that I've ever been in my life, like since I was a teenager. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But and I do have things like, why does the universe always have my back? I can't even read it from here, but and the biggest thing I say to myself every day is that everything is always working out for me, always. So if I get down or if I get off track or something, if there's a curveball I wasn't ready for, I'll just step away for 2 minutes, and I'm just like, everything is always working out for me, because you're gonna have contrast in your day. It's just gonna happen
Right.
at
Oh yeah.
some point. You know what I mean? So just to be able to tackle that immediately is what I've been working on, and getting
Well,
pretty.
you'll have little challenges. You'll bring people to yourself. I believe that I bring these people to myself because or I used to be the kind of person, I react like somebody, if they get a little shitty, I'd get shitty, right? Just be real quick to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when these things happen, I always take a few seconds and then I just diffuse what's going down. I just kind of like, I just act like it's not a big deal. Whatever, you can tell that most people are just want you. They're trying to get a reaction out of you so that they feel just, so they want to set something off so that you'll say something. So now they can really say what they're really wanting to say, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And you just diffuse it. You take all the wind right out of their cells. You can watch them deflate right in front of you. And it's like, damn, I ain't going to get what I want out of this guy, But I find myself here lately that I've been so good at, and another thing I find myself being really good at is just reaching out to every single person, especially people who I feel that are diverse or different, or just people that I normally would not speak to. I'm speaking to everybody, and just kind of like I'm starting to feel like I'm understanding, what this light worker or this shedding your light or whatever. A lot of times, man, just saying hi to somebody or just nodding or just acknowledging that that person exists. Some people go through their whole day and nobody ever looks at them and they acknowledges that they exist because they may be heavy or they may be black or they may be something different than the rest of us. And, so they really feel, just outside of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to let them know, man, hey, I'm right here with you, bro, man. We're all in this thing together. We're all part of this planet, the blades of grass to the tree, to you and me, to everything, the sky, what's up, so
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
find myself really trying to be conscious of that. And what happens is, like, when somebody does cut me off, because that's one of my triggers, or just there's certain things, people get in line or cut or try to beat me to the line or just anything. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I got a racing mentality or what. Don't get in front of me. You know what I mean? If they try to
Mm-hmm.
beat me or try to get in front of me, I got this problem. But so now I'm just like, I just stop and I just let them go. And it's like, if somebody wants to cut in front of me, I start slowing down and I get away from that person so I can stop thinking about that person. I just get back and I let them go. And I just, normally I would just get up on their ass and try to pass them, or let's have a race,
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Aggressive or whatever. But so I just, I think every little thing you do and every little thing you think and every human interaction to me is like is a reflection of what's going on with you. And if you can deal with the shit that's coming every time a negative person gets in your way or they do this or they do that, you can deal with your internal shit easier too, because
Yep.
they're external and you're easy to beat up on. And well, actually, it's easier to beat up on yourself than it is everybody else. But
Oh
once you
yeah.
start to learn to deal with, say, with these little problems and shed light on these problems, and say, hey, it's okay. Let's shed a little light on that. Maybe that'll help that instead of hurt. Instead of buying into the negative of it or trying to get in there, because anybody can jump in and be more negative, and we can all sit there and go lower and lower and lower and lower, and until we're in the mud. It's that dude who takes it to a higher level, and then people are scratching their head. Boy, I ain't used to this, and then maybe they're going to be nice to somebody.
The best thing you can do to deflate somebody, to take the wind completely out of their sails if they're coming up yelling at you. Usually, what I do is I just smile at them. And I understand. I get it. You're right. Agree with them. No matter if they're bashing you. You know what I mean? You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It immediately just takes it right out of them. They're like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Because they're expecting you like, fuck you. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Right.
That's what they're expecting.
Right.
And you're just like, dude, you're right, man. You're right.
It's called you just took control of the narrative. You just switched it. You just took the rein. You're driving the car now,
Yeah. That's it. And it throws people off. And that's a good tool for me. I rarely have people get frustrated, but every now and then I've had people come in just, they're just on a war path because they want a discount or something. And it's like, cool, man. I get it. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And then, let it simmer down, calm down, let them get to my level energetically, be calm.
And then you can
proceed. I don't proceed with an angry person. Very few people have the ability to irritate me, but some can do it. I'm no saint, but I do have a lot of patience, and that's something that's helped me a lot, especially with people that have a lot of anger.
No patience.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know how long we've been on. It looks like we've been on a little over an hour, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up. I love it. It was another good episode. I hope everybody's enjoying this Lion's Gate. It is what you make it. If you're going through any kind of energy purges, privately, collectively, whatever it is, if you need help, if you want assistance, you can email either one of us. Our information will be in the description box below. You can follow us on social media. If you want to do a healing session for the 2 people that are still watching, contact me. My email's below. I'm starting to get more into that. I've been doing a lot more in-person sessions with the people around me that are opening up to it. It's really interesting.
Jim's enjoying it. Jim's been dealing with her grand, bro.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, she's doing some shit, dude. She actually, for 3 straight days, beat that drum, and then this Florida trip came up. That's another thing she brought up. She goes, do you remember me doing that out in the mornings? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, and then all of a sudden, your brother and you started talking about this Florida thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there. And it's just another thing that happens when she starts beating that drum. I don't know what's going on, but it's cool. It's cool, man.
Yeah.
Healing, it's funny. We're all healers, and we all have different modalities, and it's really just energy, and it's a matter of spreading energy, and it's crazy. It's really crazy how this whole thing works and how simple it really is. We just complicate everything so much, but we're such simple or mystical, which makes it it seems like ooh. But when you understand what mysticism is and you understand what magic is, it's just like being a child with an imagination, and you're playing, and it's that simple. And that's what it is, man. It's just that simple. It's just play, and watch what happens. It's cool.
It is. Perfect way to end the show. Love you, brother. We love each and every one of you. Be the change that you want to see in this world, and love yourself. All right, guys.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Peace.